right, we are back to Pro Bikini News Network. I'm your host, John Algandi, and holy crap, we are 1 week away from the Olympia. I mean, the biggest show of the year, the greatest bodybuilding show on the planet. 1 week out. It's been a crazy season, seeing all these great athletes from all over to compete. And we've seen, people moving up, people progressing. We've seen it all, but this year's been kind of odd because a lot of the times, a lot of girls, they got their qualification, they shut it down. So they're kind of like one and done. So there's really nothing that was really exciting and, entertainment, even like, something that can bring enthusiasm and bring some hype into the, shows, because I feel like we had so many people qualified and we had so many pro shows, it kind of felt oversaturated. I've kind of noticed, I don't want to sound like it's just about me, but even my views and some of my videos kind of went down with some of these shows. Cause like after some of the top girls got their qualification early in the season, they were like completely done. So picking my top 20 girls, it was kind of hard to like go about it and think where they're going to place. Cause it was kind of like, we just saw them months ago and I don't know what they're going to look like now versus some people who, even when they qualified, they kept competing. And, we've seen them get tested and we've seen them go through different looks, go through shows. So picking this was not easy, especially from seventh to up. So, I mean, a lot of people's top fives are almost similar. A lot of people have different people from second to fifth, and some people have their own favorites as winners. And I respect everyone's decision. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but I kind of go off, the record, who meets the criteria, and who are they up against, and also what are we going to award it for bikini, because that's also going to impact fit model. One reason I got into bikini was because of the popularity of the division. It was the physique, was the body type that people said that's attainable at one. It is hard to compete in bikini now, more than it is in the past. Even at national level shows, it's harder. It's almost like intermediate level. We used to see bikini as like the more like beginning level, and now we kind of see fit model as kind of like the beginning level. But I feel like, and even just talking to Sean Hector Lewis, which I will have my episode up for that, I feel like fit model was kind of like that reset for bikini to make it what it looked like when it first started. Because what can you do? I mean, I'm a classic physique competitor, and we've seen, it's the division's been around for 10 years now. We've had, 3 guys win it. Danny Hester won the first one in 2016, the year Courtney King won. And then Breon won 2, and then Chris had a dominant 6-year run. So now there's an open throne. It's like, what's going to happen to Classic? And we've seen even in Classic, guys in Classic kind of look like open bodybuilders just posing in Classic trunks, doing Classic poses. So, I may or may not like what may happen at the result, but as I got older, even with my athletes, even when I see shows and how the results go, I say this, and I've seen complaints, I see comments, I see it all on you guys on my YouTube, on my IG post. When I post the top 6 bikini, they complain it looks like figure, it looks like wellness for bikini, but like I say things for what they are, not how I like it. It's kind of like, you can't blame the athlete for showing up like that. The judges told him, come back with these improvements and you'll move up. You need to work on this, you need to work on that, you'll move up. And what happens is criteria shifts. Go back to Nicole Wilkins when she won the figure Olympia title, right? She lost to Aaron Stern, and what happened was she started working with Hani Rambod. She came back more harder, more denser, more muscular, and she was awarded the win. She was told to bring these improvements, and that's what happened in figure. The whole division changed. Bikini, it wasn't until 2019, after that Olympia when Issa won, that they started emphasizing tie-ins and conditioning. And that's when wellness came in that year. And what wellness has become when it first started of what it is now. I mean, there's some people who've kind of like maintained their look and maintained like the integrity of what the divisions look like. And, now they're kind of going with more muscular girls. They said no cap delts, and, they're awarding big girls. You need to work on this. You need to come in less muscle. You need to become in condition, come in tighter. You have to just do what the judges tell you to do to fit the category that you're in. Now, this is just not a go on a rant to go and talk about it. I am going to get to Olympia, but the reason why I waited this long to post predictions, I know people have done predictions like weeks out, weeks in advance, days, many days out, but I wanted to see how many people are actually going to be on the Olympia stage, and who's doing a show this weekend. I'm gonna cover the Southern Muscle show and touch a bit on Italy this week after I post this. But I wanted to know if any top girls were doing this. Most of the top girls are, maybe they could do it as a warm-up show that get an early qualification. That's what's happened in the past. But now I think people are doing this as a warm-up show to, if they get a win, they have a pro win so that they can qualify. If they win another show, they can qualify for next year's Olympia. So it'll be more interesting with the point system, see people trying to fight, trying to like get a pro win, trying to get points. So, and yeah, I do see the cons to it and all, but all in all, I think it'll make the history. Also, going back to what I said about who's going to be on the Olympic stage, we just got great news that Behruz Tabani is going to finally come to the U.S. So that's really exciting. For the past 4 years, he's qualified for the Olympia and he's not been able to get here. He's been having visa issues, but that's a country's issue, not his. And the Olympia has nothing to do with that. Nathan Deasha, who's in men's open, he's been like 7th and 8th place. I think he hasn't been in the USA since 2018, but he has a criminal record, so that's why he can't come. He can compete anywhere in the world, from Europe, Asia, South America, but he just Canada. He just can't get into the USA because of drug charges, and unfortunately, it's what it is. So, I mean, there's a lot of amazing athletes, NPC worldwide. We see it all over, but the problem is some of them can't get here. So there are 71 girls qualified for this Olympia as of right now, and I do have a list. I'm going to bring that up. I'm taking this with me on my trip. I do have a list of all the girls, so I'm going to, the ones I've highlighted are ones that I'm going to be looking at as well, but I'm going to keep that with me for Saturday prejudging. Friday prejudging, I don't know if I want to sit through it all with all those divisions and, wellness being the last one up. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's going to be top 5 is going to wind up being Isa, Eduarda, Elisa, Giselle, and 5th place. I don't know, because without Francielli, stepping away and not competing this year, it kind of changes things. I mean, there's not many people who, when they started in wellness, in the first one, that are still competing wellness. A lot of them have retired or just stopped competing because I just don't feel like they made the look. But I think Friday, and my teammates, my coach is going to be there. I'm going to probably sit there for, fitness. And I'm going to sit there for fitness 212 because they look amazing when they come out really early, and figure. And then I'm just going to go around the expo, meet athletes, go around booths, maybe consider buying some merch, hopefully meeting some stars and people in the industry. So that's kind of what my plan is. I put my Friday night tickets on for sale because Friday night finals take so long. And, 2022 went into like 1 a.m. and I was just like, I can't, I got to wake up, be refreshed for Saturday because that's where the big divisions, that's where classic, men's physique, and bikini comes on. So I'm definitely going to I'm definitely going to watch classic because my opposing coach is doing classic, and a couple guys in men's physique is going to be interesting, and then bikini, I'm definitely going to be there. So I'm not going to leave my spot. I'm going to be with Sean. I'm going to have the spot for her early. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to get to the convention center early. I'm going to be running like crazy. But, one thing I've been doing very well this week to keep me intact is just managing my stress and, just managing fatigue because of so many athletes. I'm going to be worn out. Like, you go to the Arnold Classic, right? The show ends at 9 p.m. on Saturday. I can go out to dinner. When it's Saturday prejudging, and the prejudging is going to be like hours, especially with 75 guys in men's physique and 60 guys in classic. Once it's 4 p.m. and once they do that, top 5, top 4 confirmation for bikini, it's like, thank you, we'll see you at finals. They see the top 10 at finals, right? I'm leaving the expo. I'm running back to my place. The judges don't have much time. They got to wash up, get dressed, eat some food quickly, get into like formal wear. I got to run back, get into like my nice suit and everything, charge up all my phones, my Osmo, do all that. I have no time. And when it's in Orlando next year, I gotta, if it is, I'm guessing because it's going to be early in September, and then there is talks about moving it back to Orlando. So I got to run back to my hotel, get dressed, get ready for finals. and I'm just hoping that things go out much well. And it's going to be interesting to see FitMall. I'm pretty sure like when FitMall starts, they're going to be on the prejudging. They're going to have finals on the prejudging stage. I don't think they're going to go to the night show. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but that's kind of my plan for now. I've kind of like, I mean, I've gotten older. I'm 30 years old. I'm kind of like, I've been a VIP now for 23, 24. This is my third year being a VIP. Second one as a silver VIP plus. So I am selling my Friday night ticket. It's in the front orchestra. It's got a good view. I mean, you're looking at the stage from like this point of view. I was looking at the stage from that point of view last year, 2024. I got a pretty good seat. I'm not looking at a screen. I'm looking at the physiques, and they're really close to the stage. It was a good view. So I think I'm going to get a pretty good view. But like I said, all the judging happens to prejudging. I mean, the Saturday night finals is where it's at. You know, obviously the Mr. Olympia winner will get the Sandow statue, and then the gala, and then I'm going to be there for a while, meet some people, have some food a little bit, then head back Sunday seminar. So I'm just trying to prepare myself mentally, just navigating around. I'm gonna be posting where the gyms are and where they're offering free. I think only Olympians who are in the show are gonna get free membership, but people doing the amateur probably not. I think what's it? Fit Club has a discounted rate if you're doing the Olympia amateur, so that's cool on them that they're doing that. There's so many gyms now. I think the ones that are like going to be really packed are probably going to be like a New Tech gym. The one that's like 30,000 square feet has like Olympia approved. Torture Gym probably. Strength Culture, Dragon's Lair, obviously because of Flex Lewis. Brazil. That place was like an ant farm in 2022. So there's more gyms now. I'm probably going to go around to see where are the popular guys going, where's it going to be really packed. I'm trying to train really early in the morning. And Friday, if I'm not hanging out with the team, I'm probably going to just night train and yeah. But I wouldn't go to any gym that's like 30 minutes away. If it's 30 minutes away from the place I'm staying, I'm like, hell no. If it's 10, 15 minutes, absolutely perfect. I want to be in good distance, a good range. So, I mean, people get to their first Olympia, man. I mean, this is going to be the first one for many. And I mean, or maybe this will be someone's last time they ever get to Olympia stage. You never know what the future holds, but people get to their first Olympia and it's like, oh shit, am I in the right place? Am I even supposed to be here? They've never had that experience. They've never been in a big show like this before. And so it's going to be like a learning experience for a lot of people. I always say that, people go to NPC Nationals at the end of the year, whether it's in Florida or whether it's in Texas, and they're like, oh man, like this is a whole different level. Like you on a national level, that's a pro level. You on the Olympia stage, the Arnold Classic stage, that's like big. So I remember one girl saying that when she was backstage on Saturday for preacher in the morning, she's like, she walked out and she'd never seen so many cameras around her in her life. And it was like a shock to her. And then she sees a sea of like 40,000 people. She was like stage fright. Some people black out, if you have a good coach, like I'm going to like, communication, the service always sucks. And it's hard for me to connect. So it's going to be hard to like, I think the athletes are only going to get 30 seconds. So I'm going to record Laura Lee as a Miss Olympia champion and obviously my coach and stuff. But, communication, I mean, I would recommend walkie-talkies or even like Beats by Dre or like anything to communicate with your athlete, because the coaches can't be with their athletes backstage. So like anything where it's like you could have an AirPod or a Beat or a Beats Power Pro in your ear and just like communicate there while you're on your phone. Just to let them know, because the timing and peaking is going to be different, really crucial. I'm sorry if my eyes are really irritated. So anyways, that's a little spiel. I'm going to show you who I think is going to be a wild card, who I think is going to be in that like second call out, probably in that top 20. I guarantee with so many athletes on Saturday, they're going to make the top 10, the first call outs, because you're going to have to go through like almost 70 people. So let me see here. There are 5 girls, I'm going to say, that they have the potential to make that second call out or even place within the top like 11 to 15 spot. Depends on who shows up best. But after I've seen what they've done this year, I think Jessica Liu's probably rookie of the year. Jessica Neri, but now she's Liu. Adriana Kazmarek, she won Europa and just won in Sasquatch, beating an Olympian. Brady Gillespie, she's been tested this year. Tara, if she can nail her front pose while making her waist as snatch as possible, while her back pose looks great, I definitely could see her. Last year she was in the second call out. Kate Carroll, if she's added a little more muscle tissue, she can be the girl. She did the RGV class. I mean, what's it called? The Republic of Texas. And she took 15th out of like 47 girls. And then she moved up to first place in Chicago. And then she took 4th in Tampa and in Texas. So I definitely see Kate Carroll as a potential like top tier Olympian in many years. So I'm going to show you who those girls are. Let me get to this. Let me blow this up. Let's go. Screen. So here's Kate. And she did beat Ashley. So, always as a beautiful stage presence, I definitely think she just needs more to her glutes. Just these little more, like, she's a small frame. A lot of those 5 girls are like about 5'2" and below. So beautiful look. I definitely could see her, being just like Katya once was, who was in the top 10 last time. A New Zealand girl was in the top 10, but I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do. Hopefully she can move up into the spot. We haven't seen her, when she comes to America, she's almost there for when she comes to America and competes, she's almost there for a month. It's hard for like girls from Oceania to do that, but she's definitely someone who I see has that potential. Let's see, Tara. I mean, she took 2nd at the Arnold UK. She won the DC Pro and took 3rd in Indy. She has a beautiful back pose. It's just in the front. It's got to look like comfortable. And she's doing everything she can to like minimize her waist and like bring down her weight and like bring it down. But I definitely could say that she could be in that top spot and very comparable. One thing I've noticed is, the amount of muscle, the amount of conditioning that these girls have, and they're telling them, bring up your legs, tie-ins, upper glutes, keeping yourself full through posing. And she can definitely nail that. You can see her. Okay. And then I said, is it Jess? Is it Fit Jess? Yes. So she took 6th in Wasatch. She took 3rd in Miami and then won Toronto. So we haven't seen her on stage since June. But she's got a great look, and she's, based on her updates that she posts daily, she looks great. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do. And I don't believe that she's 35, 36 years old. I think a lot of the girls have like a similar look to like the top 2, like what Amy has. And then I'm going to go, what's her name? Oh, yeah. Britt Gillespie. She competed a lot this year. Was always in that 3rd, 5th place spot, 2nd place. She won Texas. She beat a top Olympian. So I definitely think that she's one to be looking out for. I mean, she's young. She's got a lot of potential. I definitely could see in her in a couple of years, being in that top spot. But, maybe this could be one of the years she does it. I mean, working with her new coach, I think they finally nailed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do. Let me see. Texas. And I do love the green suit on her. I do remember she turned pro at NPC Nationals, winning the overall in a green suit. She has done red. She has done this iris color, but there are going to be so many red suits to where you're going to go. They're going to be looking at so many girls in red, like, okay, which girl was in the red suit? So I definitely say Brittany Gillespie's one to be looking at. One thing I think about her is just upper glutes. And she has long, she's short. She's only 5'3", but she has long limbs, long torso, high lats. So one thing is just having to like bring that all together, just come in with the fullness. Not, I mean, sometimes people say that she's too conditioned, too hard, or like her calves take over. She's got great calves, by the way. Let's go. And then I said Adriana. Got a beautiful look. I mean, she's been coming into her own. I've always felt like she could win a USA show, and she did this year, which I'm very happy to see from her. And it's just like to see her continue to move up. I like to see her to compete more. Like I said, I feel like I haven't seen enough of some of these girls to where I could talk so much about them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let me see. Yeah, we have the Europa. She used to do like a white suit, and I never liked that. I don't mind this teal at all. I like the purple that she used to do. So those are some of my like girls to look out for, dark horses. We'll see how it shows up. I mean, I definitely can see them like in that second call out, maybe that third call out, possibly. All right. How do you make this screen bigger? Okay, here we go. Sorry to just change my layout. So looking through some of the top girls, I think that obviously the favorite going in is the front runner. She is the reigning defending champion, Laura Lee. So we're going to talk about her. Let's go to here. Go. Okay. So she hasn't competed this year, so I'm hoping that everything, it looks like she's ready to go. Even talking with her, I think that she's like sound mind, and she's absolutely going to, be one to defend her title. We haven't had a Bikini Olympia champion since Angelica, repeat back to back from 17 to 18. So since 2019, it's always been like a revolving door. It's always been like someone new. So Issa, Janet, Jen, Maureen, Jen, Laura Lee. So it's only been like, there's been 5 different girls in the past 6 years that have won it. Jen lost it, got it back. That's the first time that's ever happened in Bikini ever. There's a possible chance that, we can hear either one of 4 things. We're going to hear either and new and still and once again, or 4-time Olympia champion. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see. So based off of her, let me see, was there other looks? No. Try to find her Olympia win. She has a lot of content, and she's been doing great with the YouTube. She's been an amazing ambassador for the sport. Let's see, front anything. I probably have to pull it up on NPC News. Actually, wait. Here we go. Stage presence, physique, balance. She's got it all. She is the Miss Olympia champion. I always felt like she was going to become a Miss Olympia champion. We know when she did her debut in 2018, when she walked out, I was like, wow, what is that? Wow, look at that. And I was really impressed. And, someone was like, you've never seen her before? It's like, no, I've seen pictures. And like, in seeing her live, I was like, you were right. She's quite the impressive one. And I always and I'm looking forward to see what she's gonna do. I think bikini's the one division. I don't think anybody's safe. There's no one that's like a dominant person, and it's going to be a matter of who shows up best and who presents best. And I definitely think right now I have her as my favorite to win. One other girl I have is Amy. So she took second at the Arnold, and she being there in Pittsburgh and seeing her, like, I was like, wow, like she really owned the stage. She was sick in New York, and even though she was a little off, it was enough she did just enough to win New York Pro, but she is Mrs. Pittsburgh. She is 1 to 3 times. She is the best Miss USA winner ever. She has won 13 pro shows. But this year she wasn't doing Wasatch like she did last year. She didn't do San Diego, so we haven't seen her on stage in a while. I thought she was going to do a show in August, but she decided not to do it. She just focused on the Olympia. I did find out, and you're probably going to, I don't know if anyone's followed her, but you're probably going to hear from me. She's probably not going to do the Arnold. It just depends. I think she's getting opportunities to travel and, go overseas. And that's great because, it's growing herself as an athlete, growing herself as a brand, to see her come all this way. I feel like her and Vanya are going to be like right here. She's only lost to Vanya twice. That was when she did her first Olympia. That was in 2022 when she lost in Nashville. And that was Vanya's first win. And then the Arnold, she lost to Vanya. So that's the only times. But, I'm going to actually get to Vanya next. A lot of people have Vanya winning the Olympia and possibly taking second to Laura Lee, and I can say that's arguably, I don't think that's out of question at all. I mean, she is Miss International after all. She won the Arnold. She is the 10th one to win it. So I definitely could say that if she shows up how she did winning the Arnold and improved on that, I could see her within that top 2, top 3 spot. One thing I do say as a caveat, she has not defeated Ashley, but if she is going to defeat Ashley, it's probably this show. And if you're wondering why I'm saying things about Ashley, it's because Ashley's only competed 3 times this year. And so it's kind of like, I had her on, she's great. And I said this, if it was not for Ashley, I don't think I'd even love Bikini. And it's the thing is, the shows that I saw Ashley win, it was kind of like, it was just enough. But maybe when Ashley's at the Olympia, she turns it up. So I'm going to go to Ashley. Now, and I have my picks later. It's not everyone in order. So we haven't seen Ashley since, I think it was Vancouver, where there's like only 6 girls in the show. But she won that, like she took that show like pretty much. I think from the stage. Oh. I just want her as an individual. She won Vancouver. She won the World Classic. When she had that face off with Ali. And it could have gone either way, but I felt like Ashley had the better advantage, so that's why. And then Mile High, that's like her show. She pretty much owns it. So I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, Ashley could possibly, take second. Ashley could possibly get the title back. It's been since 2015? She won her 3rd consecutive one, and she won the Arnold Classic that same year. She's only one of 5 girls to win the Arnold and the Olympia in the same year. She's the most decorated pro, the most winningest IFBB pro ever. Literally a living legend. Like I always say, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. She made Bikini interesting. She makes things interesting. When she's in a show, it's like, oh shoot, this is a great challenge. I get to face a top girl. You look at other divisions, you don't get to face any of the top girls. They just sit out there, show up one time a year. Like, Sydney, work in silence, show up one time a year, beat everybody up, or Sarah just shows up one time a year, just dominates. There's nothing interesting. She makes things interesting. And if someone beats her, now you're the most talked about person in bikini right now. Now you're the most talked about person that can, be the person who can win the Olympia title. You have what it takes to, if you can beat Ashley, you can win the Olympia. And I just hope, I've always sometimes said to, like, part of me says she should be selfish and just only do the Olympia and focus on winning that. But in bikini, I feel like to just put everything into one show one time a year, it doesn't really end well. So, you have to do multiple picks, and it's better to make a mistake than to like put your eggs in one basket and just risk it all. And then if it doesn't go well, what happens? But I don't know, maybe everybody's different. I think that's why she competes a lot, just to find consistency. And like all the theme that I have in bikini is consistency. Day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, out, year in, year out. Consistency is going to keep you at the top. You keep adapting to the criteria, keep playing. And Ashley's done that since 2012. It's, for her to be doing this for over 12 years and to be at the top of the game, it's truly remarkable. And I think that she's someone, once she gets to the Olympia stage, she's just built differently. What can you say? So then I'm going to go to another girl everyone talks about. Ashlyn. Wait, did I have her? Because I think it was on a different page. So here's Ashlyn from Pittsburgh. Look, when I saw her in person, I was like really impressed. I'm like, wow, that looks good. She came off third place from the Arnold. She moved, between the Arnold and Pittsburgh, she moved to Las Vegas. So she's in Vegas. She's used to the environment, adapted to the climate, trains, works with her clients, But I think for her, the biggest thing is coming out with, stage presence, being confident in that. When she exudes that confidence and she's like, I'm owning the stage, I'm gonna win it, she's the girl to beat. She has won big shows. She's won Tampa, she's won Texas Pro when they were considered big shows at the time. And I definitely think that she's someone to be looking out for. She could be well into that top 5. I think she can get highest third place. And the lowest I could see her is maybe 6th, maybe 7th. But I definitely think if she brings it, she comes in. She's always said that she's never came at her best or peaked well for the Olympic. But if she can nail it now that she's in Las Vegas, she's put herself in that environment. She knows where to go, knows where to be. Best case scenario for her. So I'm going to show you her Miami look. I think that was a much better. But you could see a difference in how she presents the physique, because when she walks in like she's confident, like she's gonna win, she's like bright. You just can't stop looking at her, and that's what attracts people to your eyeballs. She's shorter, she has short legs, short limbs, shorter torso. So she's one of the more smaller girls. I think she comes on stage at like 105 pounds. So, and for her was just bringing up her legs, and having that glute fullness. Sometimes her glutes overtake her legs, but she needs to balance her legs out to her glutes. And, from waist up, she's like really good. One thing about her is just she needs to maintain her shoulders. Like, she's like, I like training my arms, but it's like, I don't want to get too big. That's one thing. She has to like at least work her arms so they're good and they're full and they're capped, but not toward like it's too big and too vascular, because sometimes that could take away from her physique. But I could definitely see Ashlyn in the top spots. All right. All right. So I'm going to go to Maureen. A lot of people don't have Maureen in their top 5, or they don't have Maureen. Like, I think the lowest I saw someone put Maureen was like 7th or 8th, which I can see why they would say that, because they haven't seen her on stage in a long time. Seeing Pittsburgh, it was not a good look, but she was top 3 in Pittsburgh. I actually had her winning Pittsburgh because she is a former Miss Olympia champion, but she hasn't been on stage since, last year she got injured. before the like a week or two before the Olympia. I think it was in September, like 2 weeks before the Olympia. But it was not a good look. It wasn't like exuding the confidence you see. You know, one thing about her, and I feel like she's going to be smaller and maybe not in conditioned. And she's going to be a little too soft. That's kind of what I'm thinking what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, we see her at the Olympia. It's a different story. Like I said, she could be really good. She could maybe win the show again. We'll just see. But she has to come out like she wants to win it. You know, that's the thing. Like, when you come to Olympia, you got to flip that switch and be a different animal. That's what Ashley is. Maybe during the season she'll lose a couple shows, or you know, some looks were not her best. But when she's at the Olympia, it's like switch turn. That's what needs to happen with her. And she could well be in the top 5. She may well be in the top 5. She may well, you know, beat out some of the girls who beat her. You know, Amy beat her. You know, Ashley beat her. But we just have to see who shows up as, you know, it was a 1-point decision between her and Edie Escondar at Pittsburgh. So we'll see how it goes. So that's all I can show with Marine. Right. Next up, let's go. Let's see. Maria. So Maria's the shortest competitor. I think she's only 4'11". So being a smaller stature, I think one thing about her was just, you know, bringing her waistline down, and she's done that so well over the years, and just having, you know, fuller upper glutes, and she's done that very excellent. She took 3rd at New York Pro. She won the Charlotte Pro. She's taken 2nd at Charlotte Pro, and she finally won that. She took 4th at the Arnold, 4th at Pittsburgh. So she's had a great season this year. So we haven't seen her since New York. And honestly, she has an adorable look to her. Some people I think she could be high as top 5 at this year's Olympia. We'll just have to see. It's just so much she can add to her frame. She has the most achievement, but now it's like, you know, about holding that, you know, she's got the waist in, she just has to hold that, you know, fullness to not come in flat. And, you know, sometimes she says I come in flat a lot, but I think she poses very well. She has great stage presence. She knows how to just get to the point. And that's one thing I think she limps so well. You know, well, one thing that's, you know, nerve wracking. And I'm glad my last name is not Benjamin. It's good. It's Al Gandy. But being the first one up, you open up the show. I mean, as soon as all the groups go, it's like, we're going to get our competitor started. It's like your first competitor from Venezuela, Maria Acosta. She's got to open up the show out, get to the point, and then thank you. And then got to go through like almost 60 some girls. And man, I mean, she comes out bright like this and keeps her look full through the comparisons, which is going to really matter. I definitely could see her moving up, and she's definitely going to do very well. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Jazzy. So some people say that she's top 6, you know, outside top 5, outside, you know, top 10. I still, you know, Jazzy's one of those girls where she either comes in too hard, too soft, you know, needs to find a way to midline. We have not seen her since the Arnold where she took 6 and just wasn't the best look for her. This was the Arnold that she was doing. She took 3rd place at the Olympia. She was kind of an unknown. Like, we're like, I even thought at last year's Olympia, because she won, was it Atlanta, I believe? I thought, honestly, like, what was I going to say? I think she was going to be somewhere between like 10 and 12, and she winds up getting 3rd place and being a lot of people out. Has an amazing physique, has an amazing shape. I just think that, she comes in either too hard, too soft. If she can find a way to nail it, and, you know, she's not been on stage since for 7 months, so we'll just have to see how it goes. So, I mean, right now, it's October first, so we'll see how that winds up being. I do somehow see her back into that top spots. I do consider lower, but we'll just have to see. It's just going to depend, just going to depend how she shows up. But right now it's kind of ambiguous for her. It's kind of ambiguous because we have not seen her on stage. We have not seen any of the top 3 girls on stage at all this year in bikini, which was odd. We haven't seen a year, but there are just so many shows. It's just so hard to like keep up and see every of them. But I definitely will say Jazzy's one to be looking out for. And then I'm going to go Jordan. So last year, Jordan placed 12th. She took, I think, 7th at the Arnold. Yeah, 1 place behind Jazzy. She's done very well. She's competed a lot. She just qualified for the 2026 Olympia. She won back-to-back at San Antonio and Daytona. So, I remember on the podcast with Sean, she was like, I don't think I can win 2 shows. I maybe win 1 a year, but to win back-to-back 2 shows, I don't think I could do it. But now she's starting to believe it. Now she's finding her like a great physique. I always felt like she was like hard in the front and then soft in the back. I never really nailed that look, but I think now she's nailed it, and I definitely could see her in the top 10. I can definitely see her placing somewhere between like 8th and 10th. I definitely think she's improved a lot to where she can now overtake some of the top girls, and I definitely think it's going to be a fight with some of them. I mean, this is such an amazing look from her. Actually, San Antonio was just... Actually, San Antonio is more legible than Daytona. I was going to talk about Daytona, but the lighting there was just so harsh. Yeah, this is my photo. It was just so harsh to tell the details. So I could just focus a bit on her here, even though that fire background is just distracting. But I think she starts to believe that she can win. She starts to say, I'm a contender to win. I can do great things. She'll do very well. And she's got an amazing look. She's got like a really attainable look. And I think it's a great physique for bikini. I definitely think, a lot of people love the physique because it's the more relatable physique, and it's not the physique you're going to look at and you're like, whoa, what's going on? So I definitely could see Jordan, the density that she's brought up, with the time off. And I feel like that's best for her when she's taking more time off and she's not coming into like shows so stressed out. Because I felt like the year that she wanted to stop competing to get to her second Olympia, she was just like, she had to start believing in herself. She had to start going, I have to turn it up. I have to, win this thing. I have to go and say, I'm bringing my best. I'm bringing a physique that is worthy of being a contender to be a top tier Olympian. And I definitely believe that she is a top tier Olympian. We'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, I think after this season, she's going to have her surgery, have the time off, and then come back into next season hitting shows right away. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in the future. And, regardless if she is top 10 or not, I definitely think that she's bringing one of her all-time best looks to the Olympia stage. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do. All right, let's go. Ari. Once again, amazing physique. I definitely say she is a potential Miss Olympia in the future. If she can nail her conditioning, that's just like the biggest question. If she can nail her conditioning, she was in her first Olympia 7th. This past Olympia, she was 13th, and then she got 5th at the Arnold, beating Jazzy, and then she was a 1-point decision at Charlotte with Maria. She won with Alice. What was it? The Girl Power she won. And then she took 9th in Pittsburgh. So we haven't seen her since May. So if she's brought those improvements with the time off, I definitely could see her back into that top 10. I definitely could see her in the first call out. They're going to so I definitely could see her I could definitely see her between like in that 5th place spot, but I have her. It's kind of like let's see how it goes. I like to be proven wrong. With some of the girls I have here, I could be right, I could be wrong, I could be up, but you never know what happens on the Saturday. But being one of the first people up, she's got to like come in swinging. I definitely think that she's brought those improvements, and she wants to bring a package with her and James that is like, this is something that is gonna be better and be a contender. I want to be that. I could be that person that could win the title. And she's a great person. And I definitely think she's an awesome inspiration to many girls. And a lot of girls love her look. You know, when she walks into the room, you look at her and like, that's Miss Olympia right there. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in many years from now. And I definitely think if she keeps it up, she's definitely someone to be looking out for. But I say that Ariana is one of the, like, she has such a beautiful look to her. And I definitely think she is going to be someone that could be a potential Miss Olympia in a couple of years. And we'll see how the look changes, you know, as time goes on. But I definitely love her look. And I definitely think she has such an amazing physique. And then Jourdain. So Jourdain only competed twice. Her Texas look was not her best, and she admitted, you know, she's just be very honest with herself. The Atlanta look, she just knocked people out. Amazing physique, but you know, from her front pose, you could see a total difference. Like her shape is amazing. Her front pose that beats a lot of people out, but then her back it looks a little too soft. Snatched waist in the back, amazing physique. She was what? She did not place in her first. She's like this is her sixth Olympia, so she did not place. She went 13th, 11th, 10th, 9th. She wants to be moving up, and I definitely think she can move up, but it just depends on how she looks in the back and how Bikini is being awarded now. It's really like it's kind of like we have to see like you know more muscle, you know more condition, more sharper. You're seeing you know people with more glute projection. They're like almost cut, etched in, diamond cut. If she nails the conditioning from the back, like her front is, that is hard to beat. You know, being at her stature at 5'7", it's just can that be nailed and can that beat people? It's going to be hard. Anyone who goes against Jourdain's going to have a hard time to go against her. So I definitely could say that she's someone who's can be high as like top 6 or, you know, be somewhere outside the top 10. But it's just going to depend on how she brings and what she looks. And I definitely think that, you know, 10 pro wins in her career. That's a milestone. But now it's kind of like, can she nail that? Can she like come in peaked and just beat a lot of people out? Anyone who goes up against her in the show is like in danger or they're in trouble. So we'll see how that goes. And then last year we had Alice. So what may change my mind about Alice would be after how she does this weekend at the what's it called, the Southern Muscle Showdown in Georgia. She got third at battle. She's been like top 2 in shows. She took second in the Brazil show. She took, what was this show that she did? Took second in Girl Power. Was 7th in Pittsburgh. And then she won Legion. So, and then she comes back, gets third at Battle of the Bodies, and then takes second in Sasquatch. So she's been like very consistent, you know, but I just feel like it's going to be a matter of, you know, coming with that glute fullness and nailing the conditioning and amazing physique. I definitely could see her as a potential top 10, but I'm just going to, like I said, it's all going to depend on how she shows up. The girls that have last names QRST, they better hold that condition very long when before they go up on stage. So when they have to do their individuals, that's going to be very difficult. But I definitely see Alice as someone that is going to place, you know, the worst is that she's just outside, you know, top 15 and in that third call out. I think that's the lowest that she can get, but I definitely could say that she can somehow, if she nails it like she does this weekend, after that depends, can say that she's definitely someone that's going to do well. And then we have Allie. Last year she was in the first call out and then winds up getting 11th. She took second to Ashley at the World Classic, and then she won Indy, and then she just took second in San Antonio to Jordan. So I think for her, it's definitely how her front pose. It's just how she keeps her waist and her front pose in, Beautiful girl, beautiful look. I just, in her back pose is just, that's like, this was just her recent update. I mean, if she brings this and maintains that, because her last name is V, she's going to be one of the last people up. So, got to keep herself tight. Got to keep that peak. We're not coming flat. But I definitely could say Allie is a potential top 10 girl. But right now, I'm like, let's see what she brings. I'm just like, one day at a time. Let's see what she brings. It's such an amazing girl. She was the rookie of the year. And then I'm going to have Reina. So I definitely can say that she's going to be in the top 10. She took, she's won 3 shows this year. She took second to Ashley in her first show back, and it was the Mile High. But all the shows she's been in, the Republic of Texas, the Mexico, and the RGV, she's just dominant. Like, she is hard to go against. The thing with her is sometimes she comes in too conditioned too hard, and it's her front pose. So her back pose, it's beaten everybody out. I would love to see her and Laura Lee compare very well. Honestly, this is one of her strongest parts to her. Stage presence, she comes in with the confidence. I definitely think for her, it could be her glam, and you're just picking the right suit color. When she came out in Republic and wore the red suit, I didn't mind it, but like, if I'm trying to recognize you with so many people, I want the color that I know you by. Like, I know Jordan Brandon by her teal suit. I know Ashley because of her green suit. I know Laura Lee because of her blue suit. I know Ashlyn Little because she's blue or teal. Vanya, I know her because of her blue. Allison, the green suit. It's with so many girls in red, it's going to be like, in wellness, I'm kind of like rolling my eyes with so many red suits, but like, pick a color, and obviously get with a good, glam. And I definitely can say that she's someone to be looking out for. She comes in with confidence, like she's going to win it. Like any show, you could see, like when she's smiling, like, I'm going to win, I'm going to do well. That will draw people's eyes to you. And I think that's someone that's going to be hard to go against. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do. I definitely could say that she's most likely going to be in that first call out, most likely in the top 10. If she's not, she's probably just outside top 10. Like, she was 14th last year. So I could definitely say that I could say possibly as high as 7th and lowest as 12th. Like I said, these are all predictions. These are all just what I'm seeing and based off consistency. And then I have Evie. So she wins all the shows in Europe, but this was the one year where she lost a show in Europe. I didn't agree with the call, but then I can understand why. But she took fourth in Pittsburgh and then second in New York. So, and she's won the Spain show. She won FIBO. I definitely can say that if she's not placing, she's just outside the top 15. And if she nails it, brings her all-time best, and how, depending on other girls look, she might as well be in the top 10. Some people have her, I think I could see her high as like 8th, 10th. I think the high she placed at the Olympia was 13th in her second one. But she's consistent, but it just has to, nail the conditioning and not coming too vascular, and, just bring that look. And I definitely think her and James have figured something out to where it can work, and we'll just see how that all goes. So those are my top 20 girls. All right. Let's get into predictions. Okay, first, and you know what? I'm going to do that predictions for Lexi Maitland and Corey Linder, because I'm going to buy one of my girls a Toxic Angel suit. I'm going to, because she wants to do fit model before she wants to get to bikini. So I'm going to definitely do that and get the gift card. I'm actually trying to work with them, and I'll try to, if they have a booth, I'll try to talk with them and see if I can work with them. And I'm trying to help out Whitney Weiser get Fit Model into her pro show, and she's bringing back Nashville Fit Show. Bringing back Bikini this year. She did amateurs, but I definitely want to bring Fit Model, and I definitely want my girl to do Fit Model. She wants to do it. I told her I'll buy you a suit. Don't have to worry about anything. You're working with me. I'm going to take care of you. So that's what I'm going to do. But predictions. Let's get into our top 15. So, this is where it gets tough. And it's going to be who nails it, who's consistent, who's got a great record. So based off that, all right, I'm picking Lord Lee to win. I'm going to go Amy, Vanya. I'm going to go Ashley, Maureen, Maria, Raina, Jazzy, Jordan, Ari, Jordan, Allie, Alice, Evie. It seems like these two positions, they could either, that's going to be where it's like Evie was just at that 16th spot last year, but after 16th place, the CX16, they don't place at all. But either one of these girls, it could be moving up, out, someone in or out. Anybody like right here is like someone who I could say they're a contender to place, or a contender to do well in possibly win the Olympia eventually. These girls have the potential to be in that second call out and possibly be fighting for these girls. Just depends on who's on, who's off. But yeah, that's how I see it going. I mean, I'd say Ashley could win the Olympia. Vanya can win the Olympia. Amy can win the Olympia. Maureen possibly could win the Olympia as well. I definitely could see a lot of girls being interchangeable. But like I said, this was just based off the record. This is based off what I've seen, and what I believe. Like I said, people are going to get mad at me. People are not going to like what I say, but I'm just going off of record and, how people see. I could be totally wrong. Maybe we have someone new. Maybe we have someone that we didn't even expect, or someone who came out of the woodwork, from a different country. We have a lot of athletes from, China. We have athletes from Italy, Spain. Not this is 1 year we don't have many athletes from Brazil. Like we don't have one of the girls that's out of the Olympias from Brazil, and then Issa's out. She announced that she wouldn't be competing this year. So, I mean, Brazil would have a lot of athletes in bikini. I think Hungary has some athletes as well. A couple from Japan. I know Yume's coming here. I'm happy to see her at her first Olympia. Yeah, I mean, with these international girls, I mean, even girls that, could expect to do very well, and maybe they didn't do so well in the show, they could possibly have the potential to place. But that's just like, who was winning the big shows, and who have we seen enough of? So that's kind of what I based everything off of this of. I think I'm going to stick with my picks. I could change Alice. My opinion, my prediction could be really on or off, and just going to depends. I mean, if Alice wins Daytona, which I say she's most likely the front runner to win it. I mean, obviously the Ashley Hampton, who won last year, is the defending champions, but we'll see how it goes. But I definitely am really excited to see this Olympia and see how it goes and how Saturday's going to turn out. And I'm going to enjoy this weekend. I'm trying to, like I said, de-stress myself and get good sleep. Like I'm going to value my sleep so much from here on out, going into this whole week. So that is all I have, and that is my predictions. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the Olympia. I am not going to go to that press conference. I am not up to seeing some WWE crap go on, drama and crap. So I'm just going to pick up my VIP passes on Wednesday, obviously go with my team and train with them, do some content. I'm getting free Young LA stuff. I'm not sponsored by them, but if there's nice merch around, my coach got all the stuff. He was going to give me that. He was going to give me that stuff. So I'm going to be happy to see that. I'm definitely going to try to meet a bunch of you guys at meet the Olympians, but prejudging seating, everyone's an animal. Everyone's going to like throw their stuff down. Like, this is my seat. So I'm going to be like waking up, be there, first person in line, have my pass, have everything ready to go. Be prepared, be out in advance. I'm bring my food with me, bring my sling with me, walk around the expo. I'm going to try to enjoy the week while I can. It's a hectic week. I'm going to respect all the athletes, their training, the coaches, it's a business. They want to look their best. So give them their due diligence of what they work for their whole life, what they work for their whole career. This is hard to do. It's not easy to turn pro. It's not easy to compete at the pro level. It's not, to get to the Olympia level is very difficult. So I commend and I salute anybody who's gone to this stage and has gone to this high level. And it motivates me because one of my dreams is to, eventually be a pro in classic and do what I can. And could I ever be on the Olympic stage? I don't think that's in my cards, if just based off genetics, because, the best athletes, they're just born differently. But I'm excited for this whole weekend. I'm excited for this next couple of days. Saturday I'm working. Sunday I'm going to wind down, have everything packed. I'm still packing my suitcase and stuff. And I got my suit ready, my shoes, my clothes, my place for the week. I have to plan out food. I have to plan out, cooking, bringing food with me, making sure I'm hydrated. It is dry weather. It is dry heat. It's in a desert. So being prepared for everything, coming on a Monday, getting adapted to that. That's always going to be the perfect scenario. A lot of athletes from all over are coming in and out of Vegas to get acclimated, which is smart if they have the financial means to do that. A lot of the athletes, they fly in based off the ticket the Olympia gave them, for an economy ticket to get here. And then obviously they get the per diem. They, get the hotel, they get the room. So yeah, I'm excited for this year's Olympia. I'm gonna be right there with Sean. She's gonna be doing her channel with Stage Ready with Sean. And I'm looking forward to seeing this all there. And let me guys know what you guys think, who's going to win the Olympia. Who do you have winning? Who do you have in your first call out? Who do you have seeing winning the title? Give me your top 5. Like, subscribe, comment. And I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for loving my video with Miss Olympia Laura Lee. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to having more guests. And if you guys want to be on, if any of you, pros, amateurs want to be on, let me know. I'll find a time to book out with you. I'm Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to seeing you all. And you take care.